Okay, we've all been there, right? You get some feedback, and instead of it feeling helpful, well, it feels like a personal attack. So what do you do in that moment? Today, we're going to break down how to handle that sting with grace and actually turn it into a real advantage.
You've heard this one a million times, I'm sure. Feedback is a gift. And it's a great sentiment. It really is. It's supposed to be a cornerstone of how we grow. In a perfect world, every piece of feedback would be this neatly wrapped package of insight, just there to help us get better.
But let's be real for a second. Sometimes that gift feels a lot more like a gut punch. It stings, it feels super personal, and it can leave you feeling defensive or just completely misunderstood. We've all been on the receiving end of that. So what is actually going on in that moment?
So, let's get into it. Let's break down that gap between what someone intends to tell you and what you actually hear. This is where all the friction happens, and honestly, understanding this is the very first step to changing how you respond. This disconnect right here, this is where it all goes sideways. Someone might say something like, "Can you be more proactive?" And their intention is probably to encourage you to take more initiative. But what our brain hears is, "You're lazy." Or they say, "This needs a bit more polish," and it can land like, "Your work is sloppy and totally unprofessional." It's that emotional translation that causes the sting, not always the words themselves. And at its heart, this is what feedback is all about. It's meant to be constructive. It's just information designed to help us see a blind spot or maybe develop a new skill. The intent, it's almost always positive, even when the delivery is just plain clumsy. And remembering that, that's crucial.
So knowing that disconnect exists, how do we actually bridge that gap, especially in the heat of the moment? Well, we've got a simple but really powerful 3-step playbook that's going to help you navigate these tricky conversations.
And here it is, just 3 things. Pause and breathe, focus on the message, and seek clarity. Think of this as your in-the-moment toolkit. It's not about ignoring your feelings, not at all, but it is about managing them so you can get to the valuable part of the conversation. Let's break each one down. This first step, this is everything. When you get that piece of stinging feedback, your first impulse is probably to defend yourself, right? To push back. But just a 3-second pause, just enough for one deep breath. That can interrupt your whole fight or flight response. It gives you that critical moment to choose a thoughtful response over just an emotional reaction.
Okay, this is where the real work begins. The person giving you the feedback. They might be blunt, maybe even a little harsh. Your job is to become a detective. You've got to look past the delivery and search for the clues. What's the kernel of truth hidden inside? What is the core message they're actually trying to get across to you? Instead of just assuming you know what they mean by be more proactive, ask for clarity. You could say something like, "That's helpful. Can you give me an example of what being more proactive would look like on this project?" See, this does 2 amazing things. 1, it shows you're actually engaged, and 2, it prevents you from acting on a total misunderstanding. And when you combine these 3 steps, something pretty powerful starts to happen. You're no longer just surviving feedback. You're actually using it to your advantage. This is how you transform what could be a really negative experience into a positive one. And the benefits here are huge. You shift from being reactive to being responsive. You start to uncover these valuable insights you would have otherwise totally missed. And maybe most importantly, you build stronger, more trusting relationships because people see you as open to growth. You've literally reframed feedback as a genuine opportunity. This simple 3-step playbook, it's not just some coping mechanism. It's a transformative tool. It turns a moment of potential conflict into a real catalyst for your own growth. It puts you right back in the driver's seat. So I want you to think about it. The last time you got feedback that really stung, how did you react? And now, how might using this playbook change the entire outcome the next time it happens?